Modern, clean, comfortable. With a state-of-the-art transit system, world-class nightlife, and entertainment. Thanks to our fully computerized law enforcement system, we are proud to be able to say that we are the safest city in the world. With so much to do and see.
Senior management at Build a Rocket Boy have been snooping around in my Discord and sending people in to find out which Build a Rocket Boy employees, both current and former, are in my Discord, because they were trying to figure out who I spoke to in my interviews and where I've been getting information from.
What did I say? What did I say?
Alright, let's break down the MindsEye mess, because honestly, this is the kind of gaming drama you just can't make up. If you've been following the news, you already know that Build a Rocket Boy, the studio behind MindsEye, has had a rough year. But after watching Cyberboy's latest expose, you realize things are even worse behind the scenes than anyone imagined.
Everyone watching this video doesn't know what these images on the screen are, but if you work at Build a Rocket Boy, you'll probably recognize them. So telling your employees that no one at Build a Rocket Boy has actually spoke to me when I literally have these documents and there is no way for me to obtain these without people sending them to me is a prime example of you trying to escape any accountability for the way that people have allegedly been treated in your company and the fact you delivered a fucking shit game.
Thank you to MindsEye for sponsoring this video. It's available right now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and on PC. The locker. Oh, what a prank! Oh, what a classic college prank! Oh, classic.
It is so terrible across the board in all of the right ways that it becomes extremely entertaining because of how bad it is.
So here's how it all starts. Cyberboy, a YouTuber known for covering GTA 6 and industry leaks, finally goes public with what he's been holding back for months. Insider interviews, leaks, and first-hand accounts from people inside Build a Rocket Boy. This isn't just clickbait. He's been in contact with both current and former employees, and what he's uncovered is pretty damning. There's a lot of talk about NDAs, legal risks, and why it took him so long to share these details. Basically, some of the stories were so serious. He was worried about getting sued just for reporting on them.
This story and the information I found out about Build a Rocket Boy and the way the company operates, some of the allegations that have been made are, well, they border into a category that I don't really feel confident in diving into on the channel. Not because I don't feel confident in what people are telling me is true. I've seen enough evidence and people corroborating stories to be like 99.9% confident that it's pretty bulletproof, the stuff that I've heard. The problem is
when that's your starting point, you know things are bad. Let's talk about Discord. A week before dropping the video, Cyberboy shuts off invites to his server. People immediately start speculating. Was there a breach? Is a big leak coming? The truth is even messier. Turns out, Build a Rocket Boy management had people snooping in the Discord, trying to figure out which employees were talking to Cyberboy and leaking info. Not just casual browsing, actual undercover accounts lurking and trying to unmask so-called traitors. That's not just unhealthy, it's straight up paranoia.
Now, off the back of this, Build a Rocket Boy have actually responded to what's happened with MindsEye. Obviously, it's launched, the game is very broken, and supposedly around most people are having quite bad issues with the game crashing. But Build a Rocket Boy put out a statement saying that their teams are working tirelessly to fix it, and I do believe that. But they also said this only affected 1 in 10 people where the game was crashing. Now, I don't know everyone in the world, and I don't know everyone that's bought a copy of MindsEye, but I am fairly confident, just based on my opinion, that it's more than 1 in 10 people that have experienced the crashing and the problems with the game.
Cyberboy puts it perfectly. Innocent companies don't do this. If you're spending more energy on witch hunts than on actually improving your studio, it's a giant red flag. But the culture problem goes way deeper than Discord drama. Over and over, employees have raised the alarm about burnout, bad management, and a toxic work environment. It's all over Glassdoor reviews, but here's the kicker. Instead of addressing the complaints, management sent out an inspirational graphic blaming burnout on people for getting their purpose. Not long hours, not underpayment, not impossible deadlines, just a lack of focus or drive. Unsurprisingly, this became an inside joke, a meme among staff. Imagine being so exhausted you can barely function, and then being told, maybe you just forgot why you're here. That's not leadership, that's gaslighting. Then comes the MindsEye launch. If you thought the backstage drama was bad, the game's release was even worse. MindsEye hit the market with crashes, bugs, broken missions, you name it. For players, it was a technical nightmare. So Build a Rocket Boy did what most studios do: damage control. They released a statement saying, "Don't worry, only about 1 in 10 players is experiencing crashes, but he and basically everyone else online calls BS." If you hop into any live stream, video, or Reddit thread, you'll see people dealing with constant crashes. For a lot of players, it's not an occasional issue. It's nearly unplayable. Claiming it's just 10% feels less like an honest assessment and more like something you tell investors to keep them from panicking. And here's where it really gets wild. Behind all the PR spin and corporate statements, this guy is sitting on an even bigger story. He's got allegations so serious he won't even report on them without legal backup. Apparently, key positions in QA were eliminated after people burned out questioning upper management. Employees left frustrated, positions were never filled again, and anyone raising issues risk being pushed out. Cyberboy admits that, as a YouTuber, he doesn't have the resources to legally vet everything. His last big video cost him more in legal fees than it made on YouTube, but he did it anyway because he thinks the truth matters. Now, with this pile of allegations, he's handed the whole thing over to a major publication with lawyers and real investigative reporters. So when the full story finally drops, it's going to be huge. But here's the most important takeaway. This isn't about dunking on the developers. The people actually making the game, the artists, coders, level designers, aren't to blame for the disaster. He goes out of his way to make that clear. It's about the management, the culture, and the endless cycle of bad decisions at the top. The people responsible for MindsEye's problems are the ones setting impossible deadlines, ignoring real feedback, and then blaming everyone else when it all goes wrong. If there's any hope to come out of this mess, it's that other studios might look at Build a Rocket Boy as a cautionary tale. When you care more about silencing leaks than fixing your house, when your answer to burnout is a motivational meme, you're heading for disaster. And when the public sees through the spin, the trust is gone. Maybe for good. Fire. And you know what? Let's talk about the whole just a YouTuber, not a journalist thing, because Cyberboy says it himself in the video, almost like he's apologizing for not being serious media.
The problem is I'm a YouTuber, and being a YouTuber, there are negative connotations. There is the whole thing that we're not serious journalists. We're not, and by the way, I'm not. It's not a bad thing. I'm telling you myself, I'm not a serious journalist. I'm a YouTuber. I just make videos talking about games I'm interested in, and this investigation into Build a Rocket Boy and what's been going wrong with it has got to the point where every single bit of information needs legal teams to check over it and go through it, and I can't afford that. The last video, the interview, I had a legal team check over that, and that was all absolutely fine. It fell under Article 19, and I had all the protections in place to make sure that it was sound.
But here's my 2 cents. He needs to give himself way more credit. Honestly, these days, some YouTubers are way more valuable than a standard journalist. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of great reporters out there, but let's be real. Anyone can knock out a 600-word article, slap a headline on it, and move on. Most of those stories just sit there, forgotten after a day. But a 15-minute video, especially one with real editing, interviews, fact-checking, and a personality that pulls you in, that takes guts, talent, and a ridiculous amount of work. It's not just reporting, it's storytelling, it's community building, and it's putting yourself out there for everyone to see. And no shade to actual journalists, but when you're a YouTuber, you're your own researcher, editor, host, and sometimes even your own legal department. You're taking risks on your own dime, with your name and your face on the line, and you can't just quietly update a story if you get something wrong. People will call you out in real time. So Cyberboy, if you're hearing this, stop selling yourself short. What you're doing matters. And honestly, for a lot of us, it's way more impactful than just another written article. Sure, there are always grifters and drama farmers on YouTube, but that doesn't take away from the real ones who are out there doing the work, telling stories that actually matter, and making the whole industry a little more transparent, even if it means taking a few hits along the way. So yeah, being just a YouTuber isn't a downgrade. In a lot of cases, it's actually an upgrade.
I'll report on it on the channel, and we'll go through some of that information, and I'll add some more context, because obviously you can't put 50 hours of conversations, which is the amount I've had with various employees and former employees. You can't put that into an article. And I've been keeping this under my belt now for quite a while. I have been nervous about how to approach this.